Good afternoon. It's Kimball Sargent here, your self care coach, and I hope you're having a great week. This week, in teaching you how to create your wellness home and your wellness sanctuary, I decided it was time to talk about what we are breathing. Do you remember the old Holly song? Sometimes all I need is the air that I breathe and to love you. Aren't those wonderful words? And we all know that we have to have air to breathe. I don't know if you know this or not, but for a number of years, we've known that the air that is inside of our homes is oftentimes more toxic than the air outside of our homes. And now, because of the pandemic, we're spending a lot more time indoors. And so I feel like that's one of the things that we really need to learn more about. And I'm a teacher, and all good teachers are good students. So I did some research to see what had been found recently in research about air quality in homes. And I'll tell you, the things that I learned were a little bit concerning. The pandemic has been good for Mother Nature. In fact, there was some research done on U.S. air pollution, and it was found that the Northeast air pollution dropped 30% during the worst part of the pandemic, and that's really good. But there's also research showing that the opposite is true for indoors. Over in Europe, in Oslo, Norway, a lovely place I visited a few years back, there's a company called Airthings, and they monitor air quality inside people's homes. And what they found that over 1,000 homes that were spread across Europe when everyone began staying home for quarantine, that the volatile organic compounds and the carbon dioxide was up 15 to 30%. That's pretty significant. So isn't it sort of interesting that that 30% is in both places? The outdoor air quality went improved by 30%, and the indoor quality got worse by 30%. So we really want to start thinking about this. The funny thing is, the indoor air quality is unregulated. And you might think, well, why would my air inside not be so good? Well, there's lots of contaminants that you live with. And here are some of them. It's the building materials themselves that have all kinds of chemicals all over them. It's your furniture, it's your carpet. Most of these things are sprayed with toxins that do decrease the likelihood of fire, but you breathe that in. It's your electronic smog. It's cooking and cleaning. Now, who would think that cooking and cleaning was going to negatively impact your air quality? But it does. Now, I love to cook, and some of you that are friends with me probably are used to seeing me post pictures of foods I put together. And I love my gas stove and oven. I love cooking on open flame. And I never ever thought about the fact that it might not be one of the healthiest ways to cook. But in doing my research for this, I learned that it absolutely is problematic. And I'm going to tell you why. I also talk to you all the time about having vegetables, and roasted Brussels sprouts are one of my very favorite. And there's been research on those roasted Brussels sprouts. When they are roasted in a gas oven, it will generate 250 micrograms of fine particulate matter. That is an amount that exceeds the accepted levels for pollution outdoors. Who would have thought that cooking a healthy treat would be causing problems for your air that you and your family are breathing? This was very difficult for me. And electric stoves also emit some of this, but it's not nearly as bad. It sort of hurts my heart. But I have some solutions I'll talk with you about later. Gas stoves create more of that small particulate matter. And small particles, that type of uh, particles will tend to get into the lung tissue and penetrate deeply. And there are studies showing that outdoor pollution and risk with that type of particulate matter increases heart disease, increases lung disease, and is a problem with early death. Well, we know with this pandemic going on that we really want to be cutting our risk factors for those things. And I'm sure that probably most of you had not even thought about cooking as being something that would give you problems for your lung health or your heart health. You know, that's one of the problems. There's only so much research that has been done on the risk of indoor air. And yet, that has been done is showing that there are problems. There's also an issue with cleaning products, and I don't think that probably surprises too many people. And one of the things that I heard a lot of people talking about was they've just been cleaning with bleach and water because they know that good old bleach and water are great, that they'll kill anything. Well, they do kill the bad bugs, but there was a research study on mopping just with bleach and water, and what they found was the way that it's mixed up, the concentration that most people use can burn the skin. It can also exacerbate asthma and respiratory problems. So if you're using bleach, I would highly recommend that you consider some other options, and I'll talk to you about some of those at the end too, because you know I never want to identify a problem without giving you solutions. Now, I'll bet you won't guess what the third big problem was indoors. It's human beings. It seems that human beings put off volatile organic compounds, and that there was a research study done at the University of California at Berkeley, and 57% of the college classroom volatile organic compounds came from the students. 57%, that's over half. More than the desk they were sitting in, more than the paint, more than the food, what with the floor coverings. So where does it come from? Well, it comes from our breath and it comes from our skin. And you know what? There's not a lot of long-term studies on this. But one of the things we are pretty sure is we can't get rid of the people that are living in our households right now. Now, there might be a few parents that are really wishing that this thing were over and we could get those kids out to school because they need a little break time. But right now, we are going to continue, probably for the next 6 to 9 months, to spend a lot more time in our households than we have been spending. So now that you know this problem, and we haven't even gone on to other issues in your house with air quality, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that next week. But I just wanted to give you some ideas for your cooking issues. Now, if you're like me and you love your gas stove and you've got it and you're probably not going to rip it out and go get a new electric stove this week, how can you cut your risk? Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to start grilling and roasting my vegetables on my gas grill outside. I can put the things out there. It will go into the air. It will clear out pretty quickly. And then I can protect the air in my kitchen a little bit better. You can also choose to get an inexpensive toaster oven. You can get an inexpensive induction oven and cook items there as opposed to using your gas stove all the time. Also, when you're boiling water, how about an electric kettle? You know, I used to use one of those years ago. I think I still have one. I'm actually going to take it out and start using it to heat up my water. So those are some ways that you can change a few habits and cut down on the cooking problem. Another thing you could do is you could open the windows. I was reading about that, and I'll have to tell you, that one sort of bothered me. If you haven't noticed, the last week or so, it's been pretty hot outside. I can't quite imagine opening up the window and letting that hot air come in while I'm actually cooking on my gas stove, which I do believe heats up my kitchen a little bit more. But what else could you do? Well, Marion Vance of University of Colorado at Boulder says that a great investment is a good quality portable air filtration system. And that is something that I highly recommend. About, oh gosh, 14 and a half years ago, I bought my first air filtration system. My son had always suffered from nosebleeds due to allergies. And I got just one, and they said that that was really kind of small for our home, but I decided I wanted to see what it was doing. And it's by the company that I partner with, Nikan. Well, what happened was, and I don't know, maybe my son grew out of it, maybe not. What I do know is that once we got that air filter, he never had another nosebleed for the next 3 years he was at home. Once he got off to college, he called me up and he said, "Mom," and it was the fall when the ragweed came out. And he said, "Guess what, Mom?" He said, "I've got another nosebleed. Could you get me an air filtration system for my dorm room?" And I said, "Sure," because it was my son. How do you say no to your kid when he knows that something that you have used at home that made him healthier and now he wants it in his dorm room? So I got one there. I have one in my kitchen. And I guess it shouldn't surprise me that these particles and these things are being set off by my cooking in my gas stove, because a lot of times when I'm cooking, it automatically revs up. And that's what it does when it's on automatic. When it picks up something in the air that's not good, whether it's viruses, if it's bacterias, whatever it is, it sucks it out and takes care of it. So I would suggest that you look into getting an air filtration system. And I would love to let you check the one out that I have, because I really do believe that it's the best on the market. I absolutely love it, and I've never sold one to anyone that didn't love theirs. Now, we talked about the cleaning products, and that's a really big deal because you want to know that you're able to kill bacterias and viruses and whatever's out. And so I would suggest that you get a cleaning product that uses natural oils and natural cleansers, probably some alcohol. Our company, Nikan, came out with a new cleaning product just about a month ago, and I was so excited. You know, one of the things that I love with partnering with Nikan is they're always giving me environmental and family friendly solutions to make my family healthier and for me to teach other families how to be healthier. So, today we've talked about the air quality and how your cooking, the people living in your house, and your cleaning products can cause problems. And I provided you with some solutions. If you would like to talk more about this, I would love for you to go to my Facebook page, Wellness Solutions Today, and message me. I would be more than happy to do a complimentary consultation with you on your concerns. You know, at Nikan, we don't treat, we don't diagnose, we don't cure. And you know what? If you're worried about coronavirus, I'm just going to put this right out there. There is no treatment, there is no cure. What you can do is strengthen your immune system by using healthy habits and create practices in your home. Make your home that wellness sanctuary that I've talked about, so that your family has a safe place to go. Those are the things that you have control of. And I promise you, if you are doing the things that you have control of, you will feel more capable and competent as a mother, as a parent, as a family, as a father. You know, whoever's out there with a family, we want to take care of our families. I want to help you do that. So get in touch with me and I will schedule a complimentary online Zoom assessment and answer any questions that you have. I want to thank you for joining me today, and I'm going to encourage you to continue to live well in this sick world that we find ourselves in right now. Have a great week, and I will see you back next week, and we will talk about more issues with air quality in your home, and I will talk about some more solutions and the benefits that they have.